Hello guys, Lady Lee here from Lady Lee's Home. In my last video, I showed you how I prepared my purple sweet potatoes slips for planting. And in this video, we are going to talk about how to plant sweet potato slips. I will remind you again that it doesn't matter if it's the orange slips or the orange potatoes or the purple potatoes. The same process goes for growing the slips and planting them. So I placed my slips in a bucket, and within 3 to 4 days they form those awesome white roots that will help them with the transplanting shock. So let's get right into it. Soil prep. It's better to have about 8 to 10 inch of deep, loose, well-drained soil. You can see here that I kind of built raised row, and I find that they really like that. So pH about 6. Sweet potatoes can deal and can handle with a little bit of acidic soil. So like here in North Carolina, they love our clay soil, but you can see that we mixed it with some compost just to break it apart a little bit, because it's very dense and not very well drained clay soil. If you have sandy soil, you might need to add a little bit of compost in there just to make sure that it doesn't drain too fast. So organic matter is always good. But again, about 8 to 10 inches of like good fluffy raised row or raised bed, so there's enough room for the tubers to form. We are planting, depending on the variety, I'm doing about 18 inches between plants in the row here. You can go as close as 12 inches or as far as 24 inches, depending again on the variety. Basically, just grab a stick, or you'll see me using a piece of bamboo in a minute, and you just make a hole about 4 to 6 inches deep, and then you take your slip and stick it in the ground. You really want to look for an overcast day. This was a very sunny day, and I'll show you in a minute what I've done to help the plants not shrivel and dry in the sun. This happened to us last year, where we lost almost half of the plants that we planted because it was just too hot and the sun baked the leaves, and no matter how much we watered, the vine will not recover. So this year I'm going back to my straw mulch that you'll see in a minute to help the plants stay alive. So about 4 to 6 inches deep. Rows need to be about 3 feet apart. These vines are going to grow and go everywhere, and you want to make sure that first they have enough room, but also that you have enough room to access the row. I'm going back to soil for a minute. I forgot to mention that we don't want soil that is too rich in nitrogen. So fertilizing with something like chicken manure or something like that is not a good idea when it comes to sweet potatoes, because it will make your plants look really good and the vines really green, and they'll grow so beautifully, and you'll think, oh, there's so much happening here, but the tubers underground will not form well in too rich of a nitrogen soil. So basically that's the planting. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward with sweet potatoes. What you see me doing here is literally covering the plants with straw. And again, here in the south, it's the end of May, and we don't have a lot of cool days anymore. I had to get these babies in the ground, and I couldn't find an overcast day in the near future. Ideally, you will want a cool and overcast few days, but I just had to do what I had to do, and it's sunny. It's like 85 degrees, feels more like 95 degrees, and if I just leave the row not covered, the leaves will completely dry, and the plants will die. So what I'm doing here is taking straw and literally covering the plant, and this will protect the leaves from baking in the sun and will give the roots enough time to kind of get a hold and take off and start growing. I also make sure that in the first week I water almost every day, especially if it is very sunny and hot, and I water overhead. You can see that I have drip irrigation on these beds, and that's what I will use once the plants are established. But until then, I will water overhead to cool the plant down and make sure that, again, the leaves don't fry in the harsh sun. So pretty much covering the whole plant, and I know it can be a little scary, but don't worry, it's not suffocating under there. It will just have enough time to develop, and then it will take off, and you'll see it popping up from between the straw with relative ease. The straw will also help with weeds as the plants grow, and it decomposes very fast and adds a lot of organic matter to the soil. So I really like using straw in the garden when I can. That's it. We will follow these couple of beds as the season progresses, and we'll see how these babies develop. We had a good harvest last year, so hopefully we'll have a good harvest here this year too. I hope you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next one.